lost something. In a country where research shows only about a quarter of our own students are proficient in civics, where 80% of us feel we're greatly divided, something essential seems to have been buried. But what if it's not truly lost? What if it's just waiting to be rediscovered?
Welcome to We the People Rediscovered, the podcast where we treat American history like an active crime scene. I'm your host, Alex.
And I'm Ben. Each week, we're not just telling a story.
Right. We're launching an investigation. We're dusting off the primary evidence to uncover the real-life human drama behind the United States Constitution.
And for our first case, we're tackling the big one. It's a right so fundamental, most of us can't imagine life without it. But the truth is, its existence was fragile, and it almost didn't make it. We're calling this case the Midnight Conspiracy.
So the year is 1788. The new Constitution has been ratified.
Okay.
But there's missing something glaring. There's no explicit guarantee of free speech, no written protection for religion or the press. And for many of the revolutionaries who just risked everything for liberty, this is a betrayal.
So this is our crime scene. A new nation founded on the idea of freedom somehow forgot to put its most cherished principles in writing. And the first people to sound the alarm, our lead investigators, if you will, were the so-called anti-federalists. Ben, who were these guys?
Well, these were figures like Patrick Henry and George Mason of Virginia. They looked at this new constitution and saw the potential for a new tyranny. They argued that without a specific list of prohibitions, a Bill of Rights, what was to stop this new powerful federal government from oppressing the people just as the British Crown had?
And on the other side were the Federalists, the architects of the Constitution. They had a counter-argument, right? It sounds strange to us now.
It really does.
But they actually thought a Bill of Rights could be a bad thing.
It does sound strange, but their logic was serious. They argued that the Constitution created a government with only limited specific powers. So, they asked, why list the things it can't do? They feared that listing certain rights, like free speech, would imply the government had power to regulate everything else that wasn't listed.
Oh,
It was a technical trap.
So it's a total stalemate. One side won't ratify without a Bill of Rights. The other thinks it's a terrible idea. This is where the conspiracy comes in. How was this case cracked?
It came down to a gritty political bargain.
Okay.
It wasn't a sudden moment of philosophical clarity. You had powerhouse states like Virginia and New York refusing to join the Union. To get them on board, the Federalists had to make a promise. They had to cut a deal.
Let's follow the evidence. Who brokers this deal?
The key player is James Madison.
Okay.
And the plot twist, Madison was initially a Federalist, firmly against a Bill of Rights.
Wow.
But he was also a pragmatist.
Right.
He saw that without a compromise, the entire United States project could collapse before it even began. So he switches sides. He promises the states that if they ratify the Constitution, he will personally lead the charge to add a Bill of Rights.
That's an incredible reversal. He goes from opponent to champion. So he starts drafting what will become the First Amendment. What does that process look like?
Oh, it's a messy, fascinating process. When we dust off his original notes, we see much longer and more complex. It went through committees, was debated, and was ruthlessly edited word by word until it was honed into the 45 words we know today.
Right. Congress shall make no law, and so on. When you break it down like that,
Exactly.
it's really 5 separate investigations in one.
Exactly. And each one is like a scar from the revolution. No official state church. That's because they were tired of the Church of England. The right to criticize power because they'd been jailed for it. A free press because royal governors had shut down their newspapers.
Wow.
These weren't abstract theories. They were hard-won lessons.
Which brings us to the final part of our investigation, the modern application. How do those 45 words, written with a quill pen in 1791,
Right.
how do they impact someone topping out a comment on their phone today?
Every single moment. That critical post you make about a politician, First Amendment. The choice to attend any church, synagogue, or mosque, or none at all. First Amendment. That online news article you share, or that protest you see on the street. First and first. But it's not a blank check. The courts are constantly re-investigating the limits.
Right.
Does it protect hate speech? What about misinformation? The core principles are ancient, but the cases are brand new.
So the dig site is still active. The original Midnight Conspiracy case was closed and the First Amendment was born. But the investigation into its true meaning never really ends.
And that's the point. It wasn't a perfect document handed down from on high. It was a messy human compromise born from fierce debate and a deep-seated fear of unchecked power.
Yeah.
It had to be fought for.
And it's our job as citizens to keep digging, to understand not just what our rights are, but why we have them. Now, here's a question we'd like you to think about. The founders, who were against a Bill of Rights, worried that any right not written down might someday be considered a right we don't have. Looking at the world today and the debates we have over things like privacy, do you think they were